What's up, y'all? Let me give it a second. Put some music on real quick, man. To some people come through. Let me see. Y'all know what type of music I like to listen to. I ain't gonna get too crazy though, cause it's Facebook. We say the crazy music for the Snapchat. Janelle, what's up, yo? What's going on with you, man? I can't wait till April come back around. You get that veterans training camp rolling. Go Generals, Rivals Nation. Get like 2 more minutes. Maybe like 1 more minute. Let me get some water. Hold on. Hey, Auntie, I know who you are this time. I know you changed the name on it. I saw you pop up in the last video. I was like, who is Harrison Bank? Who is that? I know who it is now, though. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I ain't gonna sit here and wait for 100 people to clock in because it ain't gonna happen. Just wanted to kind of talk about my New York experience. If y'all didn't know, I came home yesterday, I think. So I was there from last Monday, which was whoops, hold on. What was last Monday? The 5th. The 5th all the way to the 14th. And it was it was a crazy experience, good and bad. Hey, Lachelle, how you doing? It was so much happened. I had to write notes, because I wanted to make sure I covered everything, at least all the important points of it. So we're gonna get started. I came in to New York at 3 a.m. on Monday, the 5th. Now, initially, I was supposed to have somewhere to stay, but it didn't work out for whatever reason. It didn't work out. So when I came in and I first got off the bus at 3 a.m., I had nowhere to go. Really did. So my first plan was like, man, I want to see if, a hotel or whatever, you just got an extra room. Maybe they'd just be like, go ahead, man. It didn't work out for me. So I ended up walking. I walked for about 30 minutes, and then I took a Lyft, the app Lyft, down to Soho. It's an area in New York called Soho. And so my whole plan for coming to New York was, initially I had a model casting that Saturday, which was the 10th, but I was like, well, let me just come a week early. I'll come in, check out some of the modeling agencies around the city, because New York is like the headquarters of fashion. So I was like, I'm gonna come in a week early, check them all out, blah blah blah. So when I first got in and I found out I didn't have nowhere to go, I was like, well, I'll just go stay in front of one of these agencies until they open. And I chose Next Model Management, and I went down to Soho. And when I got there, just dropped my bags and I just sat there. And at that point, I was okay with it. You know, I was fine. I wasn't you know, I wasn't upset or anything. I was like, well, you know, this is where I'm at. This is my situation, so let's do it. And so that night or morning, that wasn't bad. I just sat there. You know, before I knew it, the sun came up. The agency opened at 9:30. So I got up at 9:30. Well, around at like 9:20, 9:25, I saw people starting to walk into the building. I'm like, okay, all right, let me get up, let me, you know, get some energy. I had a little pre-workout stuff. I was like, let me drink some of this pre-workout. Maybe it'll, you know, get me pumped up. Hey, what's up, Whitney? What's up, cuz? I was like, yeah, let me take the pre-workout. Maybe that'll, you know, put some perk in my voice. When I talk to them, they might be like, you know what? I like this guy. So they went in, and around 9:32 or 9:35, I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and give him a call now. So I called. And I said, hey, how you doing? My name's Teimon Phillips. I submitted some stuff to your website. I'm a model. I want to know if you guys can, you know, take a look at my portfolio. I don't know if you guys know, but I don't know of any modeling agency or model management, whatever. They don't typically take, you know, hard copies. They want you to submit online. And if they like you, they'll call you. If they don't like you, then you just don't get a call. But so I kind of knew it was a long shot, but you know, I figured I'm already in New York. You know, let's do it anyway. So I called them, and they pretty much told me, no, we don't take, you know, hard copies. I was like, okay, and they hung up. They pretty much hung up. And I had been sitting there for a while, and I had to use the bathroom, so I called back, and I was like, yo, can I at least use your bathroom? It was like, no, we can't even let you in and use the bathroom. So I'm like, man, that was a fail. It was a fail. You know, it hit me a little bit, but I'm thinking, you know what, this is just one place. This is one place out of an entire city, you know, that kind of shot me down. So I started to walk, and my next place I went to was New York Model Management, I think it was. That was a little bit ways away to be walking. And I got there. A lot of the men's department for these agencies weren't in office because it was Labor Day that Monday. So these guys were kind of nice. I got in and they were like, oh, okay, you know, just come back tomorrow when the men's department is going to be in. And I left them my headshot and comp card anyway, and they took it. And so I left from there, and from that point, I think I went to Wilhelmina, which was all the way back up toward Midtown. I don't know where. I might have been in like Lower Manhattan when I went to Next in New York Model Management, but I had to go all the way back up to Midtown, and it was the same story with Wilhelmina. Their men's department isn't in, but I should check back in the next day. And from that point, I think I met up with a friend. His name is Mike Seabrook. I went to college with Mike, and we met up for lunch. And I forget the place we went to, but it was some expensive crap in there. I was like, man, I came here with a certain amount of money. I can't pay no $12 for no sandwich and no $5 for no soda. So he was like, you know what, don't worry about it, man, I got you. So Mike, big shout out to Mike, man. He hooked me up with the breakfast or the lunch that day. It might not seem like a lot, but that Sprite hit the spot. You know, I hadn't had a soda. I didn't think I was gonna have a soda since I've been there anyway, but you know, so big shout out to Mike. That was my dude. Funny story how me and Mike met. we met in the dining hall at school, and it was funny. He walked over to the table, and I had never met him before. He was like, "Yo, you black, we gotta stick together out here." And I was like, "Yo, that's funny, dog." And, you know, we've been rocking together ever since. But so after that, that was I'm not gonna keep talking about the same stuff. I did the same thing with Ford and a couple other agencies. Went up to them and they wouldn't accept anything. So Monday was a rough day for me, and it got even worse when it started to get nighttime, and I knew I really didn't have anywhere to go again. So Monday around like 7 o'clock, I kind of just, well, after all the agencies closed, I just sat out in the city, sat on the ground, wherever popped over my computer, and started filling out casting calls for auditions for movies, auditions for commercials, whatever, and even searching for casting calls for fashion shows that are happening in New York. And before I knew it, it got dark. I was like, what am I gonna do? And then I got people calling me, just talking some, oh, hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? What are you doing? And it got kind of frustrating to me, is because a lot of people that I talk to on a daily basis or a weekly basis, they pretty much knew what was going on to me. So I didn't really appreciate people that kept calling me. Granted, it's nobody's responsibility to do anything for me, but I was getting frustrated because I didn't have anywhere to go, and I didn't want people to keep talking to me, asking me what's going on, really. So I don't think I talked to anybody after Monday for at least a couple of days. That night, I ended up staying in a homeless shelter. I slept in a chair in a room full of like 50 people. Might have been 50 people in there. It stink. It smelled so bad in there. People was loud. People was snoring. It was doing everything, man. It was. I really, to say I slept in there, that's a little exaggeration. I really didn't sleep. I was kind of like hunching over, and I might fall asleep for 5 minutes, but every 5 minutes I'm jumping up, like, and it's like, crap. I really, it was like a movie to me. I didn't think it was real. And hey, what's going on, Coach Mike? Hey, love you too, man. I can't wait to get back out there in April, man. I was just telling Janelle, I can't wait to get out there. But what was I saying? Yeah, it's like I would, close my eyes for about 5 minutes, and then you should hop up. And I still smell those stinky feet, those old people in there who ain't taking a shower for who knows how long. And I'm thinking, man, I'm not supposed to be here right now. I'm 24 years old. I just turned 24. How did I end up in here with these people? And I just was just so frustrated. Like, if anybody would have said anything wrong to me, that would have been the wrong day, but I don't know how I was able to hold my composure or stay focused on the goal. But it was nothing but the Lord, man, for real. That's all it was, because I don't know how to explain it. So next day, I ended up getting up at like 6, and they had a shower in there. I had to took one of my favorite shirts, and I put it on the floor of the shower because I didn't want to step in the shower, because I knew it was like 50, 100 people using that same shower. And I showered and I got out, and this was Tuesday, right? Yeah, this was Tuesday. So I went out Tuesday, and it was a casting call. I think I found it later that morning when I went out. It was a casting call for Style Weekly Fashion Show. I had no idea how big this show was. Apparently, Style Weekly Fashion Show, or Style, is it Style Week? Style Fashion, whatever it's called. It's like top 5 shows in New York, and I went to the casting call for it. I met some great people, and everything was cool. The walk that I did when they asked us to walk, it felt funny. I knew it was something wrong with it, since I first took my first step, and apparently they saw it too because I didn't make that show. The only way I found out is when I saw that they were having the show on. When were they having the show? They had the show Wednesday. They had the show that Wednesday and that Thursday. And the only way I knew I didn't make the show is because I ended up going to the show, and they were having it without me. So Wednesday, I went to Big Apple Fashion Week. It was cool. Met some cool people. But Thursday was one of the more impactful days that I've had out there. It's when I went to the Style Weekly fashion show, and I met someone. Her name was Alve and Anna Marie. I met both of them there. I was just happened to be standing around, and Alve came up to me and she was like, "Can I have a picture with you?" Well, sure, most definitely. And Alve, she was looking flawless. She was definitely looking good, and so we took the picture, and she was like, I saw some eye candy over here, so I figured I'd take a picture. I was like, I really appreciate that. So I was like, so what do you do? And she was like, I'm a designer. I was like, oh, that's nice. I'm here for a couple shows that I'm doing. And when I named the shows, there was one in particular. I said it was NYC Live, and she looked at me funny. She was like, and I was like, what? Did I say it wrong or something? She was like, I'm a designer in that show. I'm like, oh my God, you kidding me? The show was on. The show was next Tuesday, and she was saying, my brother's putting that show on, and I was like, man, that's so small world. I run into her, and she was just so nice. And we talked for a little bit, and we exchanged information. She was like, if you need anything, call me. Blah blah blah. That was great. Maybe I gotta check my notes, man, because it's a whole lot going on. Forgive me, I know I sound a little funny. I just got sick. So after meeting Alve and Anna Marie, that was on Thursday. Friday, that was another. Friday was probably hands down the craziest day for me. I put up a video before when I did that one about what happened on Friday. Friday was Harlem Fashion Week. They were doing a fashion show out in Harlem. And I was like, man, I wish I would have heard about the casting for it, but I didn't. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go to the show. You never know who you're going to see there, blah, blah, blah. I actually heard that a couple big-time people go out to Harlem Fashion Week. So I was like, let me make sure I go. So that day, when I decided to go, I came up with the plan that I'm going to get there early. I'm going to get into this show somehow. That's what I told myself. I'm going to walk in this show somehow. And so it was like perfect timing. When I got there, the people who were putting the show on, they arrived at the same time. And they were all walking there at the same time. So I just kind of, wiggled my way in there. I got in the elevator with them. I went all the way downstairs with them. And I get out the elevator and I'm just standing around like, all right, I don't know what to do next. So I'm just standing, and this girl came over and talked to me. We just started talking for a little bit. She was helping out with the show. She was one of the hey auntie, I see you just joined in. She was a volunteer for the show. So we began to talk for a little bit, and she was like, are you one of the models in the show? I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just actually here to watch the show. And, we talked, and she said, hold on one second. And she went and she grabbed someone, and she came back with, her name was Patricia O. Came back with Patricia O. And then Patricia asked me, are you a model? I said, yeah, I am. Are you a model in the show? I was like, no, I'm not. And she was like, are you available to model today? I said, most definitely. Yes, I am. Apparently one of the guys didn't show up for the show, and they needed someone. So she took me to the back where all the designers were, and she's like, "Hey, we got a model right here. Anybody need a male model?" And I ended up walking for Mr. Bill Witherspoon that day. He put this crazy stuff on me, not crazy in a good way. Like I had never wore like a Speedo trunk thing before. It was dope though. It was fire. I liked it. And I felt comfortable in it, so I had no problem doing it. But it was it's crazy, how things worked out. I went there with a plan, and God made it happen. That was a real testimony right there that Friday. Hope I'm not getting too long-winded. I don't even know how long I've been doing this for. Let me see what else was going on. Okay, so that was Friday. Saturday, I did walk fashion show casting. That was the whole reason that I even went up to New York, was for the walk fashion show casting. So I went in. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was gonna happen, really. So we get in the room where we're in front of the designers, and we each individually got to walk. So we walk in, boom, boom, boom. We got numbers on. I was number 30, and so we finished walking, and then sort of the first thing they yell out. This is a point where the designers have a question. They might want to see you walk again. They might want to see whatever. So as soon as they finish, they like, number 30, take your shirt off. So y'all know me. I'm like, all right, what? Wow. Pull the shirt off. And I didn't know who wanted to see it, so I'm just kind of, standing around. And I finally see the designer. He got up. He was like, thank you. Appreciate it. And I ended up doing, that's what got me the show. Hey, Charmaine, what's going on, man? How you doing? Hey, auntie. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to keep going for real. So I ended up walking for, it was Lord Andrew Couture. He turned out to be another impactful person that I met, with my whole New York experience. So the show happened to be the next day. The show was fun. The show was, the show was fun. I met a couple great people. Like I said, Lord Andrew Couture, who I actually ended up doing a photo shoot for Wednesday. After the show, after the Walk Fashion Show, he wanted to do a photo shoot with me, and these pictures are going to be submitted to be published in a magazine. So hey Rick, what's going on, man? Hey Rick, you in here too? I got you in here too, man. I don't think I left you out. You played a big role in helped me out with New York too. So I got the photo shoot from that show. I met some great people, even outside of the designers, just meeting the models, and hearing their stories and their words of encouragement. I mean, it helps for real. It really does help. So I mean, that was great. That was a great one. Monday, it got a little scary again on Monday because I had a fitting for NYC Live Fashion Show, which was happening Tuesday, and I didn't make it to the fitting. For whatever reason it was, I didn't make it to the fitting. So I kind of had to plead with the producer to let me back in the show, or to let me in the show. They hadn't kicked me from the show, but the whole point is none of the designers fitted me for their outfits, or for their pieces. So I didn't really have a spot in the show. So I had to beg and plead and beg and plead. I had to call the producer. I even called, this was a show that Alve was a part of. So I called Alve. I'm like, man, Alve, I missed the fitting. And, her brother was the one who actually put the show on. So she's like, well, I'll try my best to reach out to him. Just keep calling. And I did. And I finally got in touch with him. And after speaking with him, I had to speak with someone else, someone who was actually coordinating the show. Miss Rabab, and shout out to Rabab too for not kicking me out the show and for letting me come to the show and at least try my hand with some of the designers. I mean, that was big, you know, that was big even outside of anything. So I had to send her an email. She never responded, but I showed up the next day anyway. And when I showed up, she kind of recognized who I was, and she was like, you know, if a designer will take you, then they'll take you. You know, you gotta go get it, basically. So let me hang around for a little bit. I went, you know, check out some of the designers, and one of the last menswear designers that came in actually picked me for his line, so I was able to do the NYC live fashion show too. And I don't really know how to. It's just like it's all just speaking for itself, really. It's just like you hustle so hard, you get out, you know, you put yourself out there, and you know God will make it happen for you. NYC Live was great. I got to model for Nico and Adrian. They're like an underwear brand. I actually got to keep some of the underwear from it. It was cool. That's pretty much it. I know it was a little long-winded, but what I do want to do is everyone who helped me out, I gotta give them a shout out, because this was a big experience to me. You know, shout out Abu. Abu is who I stayed with from Tuesday to Thursday. Abu was another friend I met in college. He got 2 roommates. They were nice enough to let me sleep on the couch. I ain't have to pay nothing. He even bought me dinner one time. Abu did, when I was there. So big shout out to Abu. I already said Mike Seabrook. Mike Seabrook bought me the lunch. You know what I'm saying? That joint was clutch. That Sprite was clutch. Shout out to Alvay Alexander and Anna Marie Murray. When I got to NYC Live and I didn't have any designers, they were running around to everybody. You need them out. You need them out. They were doing everything they could, and I can't tell them. I can't say it enough how much that meant to me. Rabab Abdallah for letting me even come to the show without kicking me out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, I left one part out. There was this security guard at Style Fashion Week. When I walked in, he was like, "Man, who you model for?" I was like, "Nobody yet. You know, that's why I'm out here trying to make it happen." He was like, "Man, you look ridiculous." Like, that must be a good term up in New York, because what he was saying was my style was crazy. He was like, "Man, you got to be in touch with these people." So he took my comp card and gave it to the producer for Style Fashion Week. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it back to the Style Weekly, to the Style Fashion Week show, because I had some other things. I had the other shows going on, you know, the Harlem Fashion Week and Walk. But I hope that he really did get my card into his hand. But it was just like, I just walked in there and he just wanted to help me so much. Like, that's the whole point I'm trying to make. When you hustling and you put yourself out there in a situation, it falls into place for you. Like, so many people was hustling for me and they didn't know me from Tim or Bob. You know what I'm saying? They've never seen me before. But I don't know what it was, man. It's just blessed. Yeah, that's right. Shemaine's like Shemaine said, it was just blessed, man. Don't be scared to put yourself out there, man, because that's when it fall into place. So let me get some more people. I don't remember her name. The behind the scenes girl at the Harlem Fashion Week, who I first started talking to, she got me in that show. She did it. She went and talked to the people. I wish I would have got her Instagram or something. If you ever see this video, please contact me, because I want to stay in touch with you. I really appreciate what you did for me. Andrew Drayton, Lord Andrew Couture, thank you for the photo shoot. You know, that's published work. You know, that's something you rip. It's called a tear sheet. You rip it out the magazine. I got a tear sheet to put in my portfolio. Rick Pilgrim, y'all know Rick Pilgrim. That's my boy. Rick and DIP Global for getting me home. They paid for my bus ticket to get back. Fernando, yeah, Fernando. I met Fernando at Plitz Fashion Week. Plitz. I don't remember the name of the show, but Fernando is a promoter. He's from Puerto Rico. From Puerto Rico, and me and him we're trying to link together and do some stuff. You know, maybe even Puerto Rican Fashion Week. Something. His cousin had a line of shoes in the Plitz show, and it was fire. Those shoes were some fire, man, for real. So hopefully, yeah, Fernando, me and you, we got to talk real soon, man. We got to talk. I don't think I forgot about you, because I didn't. Ray Brown was one of the designers I wore for NYC Live. I walked up to him, and I was like, you need any male models? San Juan Fashion Week, that's what it's called. Okay, let's do it. See, man, that's international. That's international work, dog. Y'all see it right there. That's international work. But yeah, Ray Brown, I wore his clothes at NYC Live. I walked up to him. He was like, I was like, you need a male model? He's like, yeah, man, somebody didn't show up. Boom, there you go. Everything fit perfect. He was like, what's your waist size? 33. Perfect. And it was it. Everything, I can't express to you, man. It falls in place when you hustling. Mr. Bill Witherspoon, I wore his stuff at Harlem Fashion Week. You know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have had the courage to put those trunks on. I usually don't wear stuff like that. It's not the image that I want to, put out there, but it was fire, dog. He had the little turtle shell on my arm. Had the turtle shell with the man. I was fly, yo. So shout out to Mr. Bill Witherspoon. I already said Anna Marie Mary. I hope I did. She was, like I said, she was on my team, man. I felt like she was my sister. She's my aunt. She was rooting for me, dog, and she was helping me out for real. Even sending me, Alve called me today. Alve called me today and was like, I just want to make sure everything is all right with you. Make sure you got everything you wanted. I was like, yeah, man, I made it home safe. I'm good. Thank you so much. Who else? Patricia O. She was my hairstylist at Harlem Fashion Week. She was fun. She listened to my story. She helped me out. She pretty much got me in the show. Her along with the volunteer girl. And even just seeing some of the people from Virginia that I saw out there, like Marky for PLV, Clyde from House of Clyde. It was inspiring seeing, it was, not only was it inspiring, it was comforting, being around people that I actually seen before. Adolphus Ingram from RVA Reach One Teach Run. John Cope, I call him International John, because John liable to pop up anywhere, and he be fly too. So shout out to John. Panna from the 757. He was in NYC Live. He did a couple scenes. Corey Jamal, he's my photographer. We've done some work together. He also works with Marky and Clyde. And I do not remember her name, but it's the beautiful young lady in the picture that I posted with me and Adolphus. She's in between us. I do not remember her name, but it was real nice seeing you two. Just familiar faces make you feel comfortable, man. So that's pretty much it. Besides one more person, obviously. When I tell you, this thing would have been a total wreck if it wasn't for my dad. My dad did everything. Absolutely everything. Like if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have. I ended up staying in Jersey from Thursday to Wednesday, and he paid for it. Y'all heard of Airbnb? Airbnb. I had to get an Airbnb in Jersey, and I had to get I had to get bus tickets back and forth from Jersey each day, and my dad paid for all of it. Cause if it wasn't for that, I don't. It would have been totally different. I don't think it would have been as positive as it did. You know, he wasn't one of the people who's just kind of just watching me. You know, watching me out there. Knew I was out there. He actually took initiative, and he did everything for me. So big shout out to my dad, man. Big shout out to my dad. That's pretty much it. I don't think I forgot nobody. I hope I didn't. If I did, please feel free to comment below. I see Marky. Yeah, Marky just joined in, man. Y'all follow Marky, POV, and follow Clyde too, House of Clyde. They debut their clothing line, House of POV, in New York. Who from Richmond is doing that? Who from Virginia did that? They big time, y'all. It's people out here moving. So that's pretty much. It was a long story. I hope I did inspire people. And to be honest, I really didn't even want to do this. The only reason I did it was for my dad, really, just so my dad can see it, so he can see how much I appreciated what he did. That's the only reason I even took some more pictures or took some videos of me up there. It's just so he can see it, because I know he like to see what I'm doing. So that's the only reason I did it. I won't hold y'all time no more. Just see, man, everybody checking in now, and I'm about to finish it. Dash, no, you know what you gotta make it. Yo, what's up, Russ? What's going on, man? Man, everybody coming. I don't want to turn it off now, because now everybody coming in. But yeah, I ain't got much else to say. I hope y'all like the video. I hope y'all keep rooting for me, because I'm gonna keep going either way. But it's good to have people behind you. So I appreciate everybody for checking out, man. Take care.